My name's Mirko. I'm from Vaudeville Sound, a 3D sound company in Vancouver, Canada. Really excited to introduce the next speakers here from DigiLens. I want to introduce Nima, the VP and GM of Product Business Unit, and Vinay, the Principal Software Engineer at DigiLens. If you could please give it up for Nima and Vinay. Thank you. All right.
Testing. Hello, everyone. Thank you for that introduction. My name's Nima Shams. I'm the VP and General Manager of the Product Business Unit at DigiLens. Joining me is Vinay Malekal. He's the Principal Software Engineer doing a lot of the core applications. We have a lot to talk about. It's a very exciting time for us because it's the first public viewing of our Argo product. So if you get a chance tomorrow, please come by our booth and check out the device. So we'll jump right in. First of all, DigiLens for the last 15 years has been working on the hardest element in AR, which is the display, right? We have really dedicated a lot of time and focus to make an optical, clear display. But we've become more vertically integrated. And that's very, very important at a time like this where it's product creation. So let's walk through that vertical integration. First part, DigiLens has its own proprietary polymer. We make waveguides unlike anyone else in the world. We actually print our waveguides. And the main part of that is the actual polymer. And those are real electron scanning microscope imagery of the structures that are created by our polymer. We take that polymer and we integrate it into waveguides. We have some of the best waveguide engineers in the world, and they've developed a product that is 500 nits per lumen, unpolarized light. With polarized light, you can achieve 1,000 nits per lumen. That is some of the most efficient waveguides in the world. That's being done at 85% transparency. So when you guys go out there and look at headsets, can you see the user's eye, right? Can you see your surroundings? For an industrial product and for most social acceptability, that eye, being able to see the eye, being able to see the world is highly important. So you have the best waveguide in the world, or so we believe. How do you get a light into that? And we looked at projector technologies out there from LBS to DLP to a lot of stuff. And unfortunately, we didn't find a projector. So we built our own projector. So what you see up there is our projector. It does 4 lumens of polarized light out, and that's an actual image from the projector on a wall. So we've created our own micro projector to drive that waveguide. Next comes our partnership with Qualcomm. We've been friends with Qualcomm for a very long time. Qualcomm has been the leader and the biggest supporter of the XR industry. And I'm proud to announce that our product is Spaces compatible right now. We are the first company that's built an all-in-one AR XR2 device. We're a full licensee of the Qualcomm chipset from source code on, and that's an actual board that we've developed that's inside our Argo platform. Next comes tooling and materials. Our team has a lot of experience. We have friends and partners like Brian, who's joined our team from DAQRI and RealWear. We have other friends who've joined us from Apple and HoloLens. We've taken the talent from ODG and a bunch of leaders and brought it under one roof with DigiLens's core technology. So that's led to material selection. The device you see tomorrow is thixotropically molded magnesium, right? It's not plastic, and it's not steel, because that'd be way too heavy, but we found the right materials for the right use cases and the right integration of that material into the headset. And then comes the software stack. I don't want to take Vinay's thunder away, but what we've done is really adopted what the standards of industry are, right? OpenXR, WebXR, Spaces with their amazing capability. We've put that on open source Android 12. So fully integrated under one roof in one company, which is very, very critical. Mark Twain said it best, history doesn't repeat itself, but it often rhymes. And we're seeing that right now with the evolution of this new computing space. Let's start from the beginning. That's not my desktop computer, but I am a gamer. In the desktop computer, what's the benefit of that? Why do people still have that? Massive field of view, right? Extreme power. But it's tied to a desk. It's for the desk worker, right? It gives you a lot of advantages, but it's not very mobile, right? You don't see people on a plane, train, or in the street with a desktop computer, right? And we kind of see the same evolution in our category. Right, next week is going to be a big deal for everyone, including this industry. We all hope the fruit company succeeds because that pushes all of us forward together. But the product that we've been hearing is a massive device that's $3,000 that has a cable and runs one of their computer engines, right? I think it's going to revolutionize your desk work. It might be a replacement for your Mac. It's not very mobile, right? And hopefully, people don't think it's socially acceptable to walk around with a VR device on your face, right? But for its use case of design, productivity tied to the desk, it's very, very critical. And we think there are advantages and disadvantages to that category. On the other end of the spectrum was the pager, right? So what was the allure of the pager? Super small, super lightweight, tidbits of information when you needed it. And we saw that category, right? So there's been a lot of pager, or as I like to call it, iBuds, right? What are their use cases? Navigation is one that always pops up. Translation is one that always pops up, right? Extremely lightweight, extremely mobile, but doesn't really have much functionality. Some people will argue they look good, though. I think some of them look good. What we're trying to do at DigiLens is, and there's a Samsung phone up there because Samsung is a lead investor in us, so we have to get some props there, but is to make the mobile phone of the future for industrial. All-in-one, field of view that's usable, sunlight readable, you could take it everywhere with you, integrated, powerful, yet, mobile. And that's what we are going to show tomorrow, which is Argo, DigiLens's first industrial-focused product. And this quick video hopefully will show you guys its capability. Let's see if you have sound. There we go. Thank you. Props to Brian Hamilton and his marketing team for integrating such an awesome video that showcases the product. But what is Argo? There's 5 key elements in Argo. 1, built from the beginning to be industrial. This isn't a consumer product that's been pivoted because it wasn't successful in the consumer market. It's built from the beginning to be IP rated, ANSI rated, and mil-spec rated, right? That's really important because that's driven a lot of the decision making. 2, it's built on the experience of all those people and all those companies that have come under one roof that have actually delivered for enterprise and government industries. 3, DigiLens's core waveguide technology, 85% transparent, sunlight readable, printable waveguides. 4, our waveguide is driven by the projector, our own LCOS LED projector. And 5, the amazing partnership and capability of the XR2 chipset and our electrical engineers to integrate that into a standalone package. What we've put into Argo is the capabilities that we've learned is essential. So it is packed with functionality. It is packed with functionality that we found out from the enterprise market to be critical for use cases. There's a 48 megapixel Sony camera in there with optical image stabilization, electrical image stabilization. There's Wi-Fi 6E MIMO to protect the user from losing connectivity even with head shadowing. We have GNSS radio, dual waveguides, dual projectors, a lot more. Please come by tomorrow and check it out. Second of all, it's a platform. One size doesn't fit all. So we've created some modularity in its use case, whether you want full eye protection or you want the ability to wear it over the top of your glasses. I don't know if Carl Gutak is here, but thank you that you were one of the driving factors for putting that capability in there. Next, because it's a platform, you could tie a lot of sensors to it. Vinay and his team has used a neural network for training faces and capturing it off of the XR2. In the center is an actual image through the waveguide timed with a off-the-shelf FLIR sensor that we've plugged through the USB-C. And on the bottom is a PMD time-of-flight sensor. So the platform is truly a platform where other sensors can attach to it. We also are very proud of our friends of Ultraleap. We will demonstrate tomorrow an Ultraleap sensor working on Argo, giving you millimeter accuracy, gestures, and fingers in a spatial lock device. And last, you can't have a conference without talking about AI in 2023. Unfortunately, there's a false narrative going on that's either AR or AI. And I think that's very false. I think you need both. Because AI is the digital realm's attempt to become human, to become realistic, to interact with the world. And AR is humanity's way to view that digital realm. And it's that fusion of those two that is extremely essential and powerful. And with that, I'm going to hand it over to our software lead to talk about how you can develop for the platform.
Awesome. Thank you, Nima. So actually, in the office, we were joking if I should start this talk by running up and taking great inspiration from the Steve Ballmer and go, developers, developers, developers. I don't know if you guys remember that. I'm not going to do that, but I just did. So I just want to start the talk by getting a show of hands quickly. So I just want to understand how many of you here are trying to deploy AR solutions or use AR in your day-to-day work. That's a good number. And the second question is, how many of you here are trying to develop AR solutions to be deployed on multiple platforms? Awesome. I think we have a good mix of audience here. So there are a couple of different ways to talk about software. What I wanted to do was I wanted to start with the guiding principles that we use at DigiLens when we make decisions about building software for the Argo platform. So to start off, we want it to be simple and efficient. What do I mean by that? So there are two very specific types of users that we are trying to target with Argo. On the one end, we have the frontline workers, right? The people who are going to use this device. It's going to be part of their daily work routine. This group can have a varied level of technical expertise, right? So we want to make sure that the software it feels intuitive and it is user-friendly. And on the other hand, we have the developer. Developers just want to develop, applications and solutions, and we want to enable them to be able to do this with ease. But also, when they are trying to do this, we don't want to tax them and say, you need to redo all the work that you have done. And so giving them the ability to be able to leverage some of the pre-existing work is very important. So that's point number one. The second point is Argo is a very targeted platform. It is built for enterprise and industrial use cases. And so in such environments, it's critical for us to be able to pass through, the security requirements of IT departments at all these, enterprise organizations. It also needs to be super robust and crash resistant in the field. Point two. The third approach is the approach needs to be really thought through. We could easily get stuck in this infinite cycle of development, trying to guess what the AR market needs. But we wanted to take the guesswork out of the equation. We wanted to find our MLP, build it, deploy it with our customers and partners, learn from it, and be able to use that feedback to improve the product over time. So with that said, I want to start from the top down. So Argo, again, is a connected device. So we need to think about all the way from cloud services. So when you think about cloud services, there are two aspects. On the one side, I, as a developer, I need a mechanism to be able to develop applications and deploy these applications and make them available to all the devices in the field. Once I do that, I need a mechanism to be able to OTA update the software in the field. Once I've done that, I need a mechanism to be able to collect logs and diagnostic data from these devices in the field to be able to learn from it and improve my solution over time. So this we enable as part of our DigiLens cloud infrastructure. So we have an app catalog, we have the OTA update service, and the diagnostic service as part of this vertical. And then on the other side, we have the IT departments. All they want is a seamless mechanism to be able to deploy these devices in their organizations and manage them efficiently. Being compatible with some of the leading MDM solutions like Intune, Workspace ONE, and Arbor XR was critical for us to be able to actually launch a product in this category. Now going one layer down into the software solution stack on the device itself, I think we've talked about, Nima gave us a good intro to the hardware capabilities of Argo. Going one level up, there was a choice that we could make. We could build a custom operating system. If we did so, we had to go retrain the entire developer community to be able to start building solutions for this platform. We made the choice of going with Android open source. And so we chose to run Android 12 on this platform. One of the benefits of AOSP is we now immediately get access to the large ecosystem of developers and solutions and tool chains out there to be able to support a device like this. Again, AOSP is not, at this point of time, designed to run efficiently on a head-worn device. So we made customizations on top of that. And we exposed those APIs so that our developers could leverage it and build solutions on top. And so you have full Android 12 API access, but also API access to all the customizations that we built into the software stack. The other big benefit of Android, using Android on the platform, was we could easily leverage all the security infrastructure that's already prepackaged and available. And that just enables us to be able to layer on top of it and make any necessary changes as required by our customers or partners. The other aspect I want to talk about is open standards. Right from the get-go, that was our key kind of goal, is we wanted it to be an open platform. We do not want to make it a walled garden. We want as many developers to be able to develop for this platform, and therefore we want to embrace all the open standards that the industry is trying to move towards. And I think this is going to be a benefit in the long term, I think, as we heard in all the other talks today. The other aspect of this layer is, again, I've been talking a lot about the developer aspect of it. We also have the users, right? So when somebody takes this device out of the box, we don't want them to find a blank slate. We want them to have enough capability and features on this device available out of the box so that they can start using the device and not necessarily have to wait for a solution. So we went ahead and built customized system applications with UI, UX that is suitable for head-worn products. And we made sure they're available on the device. And so it gives you the ability to be able to manage your applications, manage your content, manage your, you can look at PDFs, you can manage the camera, you can configure the device. All that comes out of the box, so it makes the user's life very simple. So this layer is what we call DigiOS, and we continue to invest to make, improve the performance of it, make additional features available. And so this allows now developers to come in and start building their solutions on top. And again, out of the box, we worked with some of the top enterprise applications and solution providers in the industry. So everything from the My Room and VRG solution from Hewlett-Packard Enterprise. They bring the ability to be able to enable remote assist and remote expert use cases. So it's fully integrated and available on Argo. We worked with Tactile to bring their Manifest product, which provides step-by-step guidance for MRO use cases in a lot of different fields. We worked with Hippo Technologies, who provide virtual care for health and education and training purposes. And we are working with a number of other partners as well. So this now gives us the full, the breadth of everything from solutions to all the native developer needs and then the hardware capabilities for a platform like this. So moving quickly through three other different categories. I think we talked about it. So as I mentioned, we have APIs that we expose. When I talked about enabling developers to be able to leverage all the pre-existing content, this was kind of key for us right from the beginning. And so we made sure we have this feature called dual dynamic display available. What this does is it allows developers to very easily port existing 2D Android applications onto the platform without having to change anything at all. Right? So as we worked with partners and customers, we've seen 80 to 90% of all the features just port over and work on these devices when you go with that mode of operation. If you really want to bring in 3D aspects to it, we have the ability to be able to enable that as well. We enable with our sensors on the device, we can do inside-out tracking. From a user interface point of view, we wanted to make sure there is a robust mechanism available. So we went with Voice UI, and we make this, again, a service available through APIs for our developers to leverage and build into their applications. From an integration point of view, we worked with some really awesome partners. You will see the integration with Ultraleap at their booth as well as our booth. That brings the ability to use hand tracking as part of some of the solutions that you might want to develop for these devices. The integration with Snapdragon Spaces opens up the device to leverage a lot of the features that they're developing natively through that ecosystem. So that gives us spatial anchors, meshing. It gives us plane detection. It gives us image and object tracking. So a slew of different types of features that immediately are now available on the Argo platform. And then we work with the usual suspects on the game engine side to be able to enable developers with 3D app development. And then, as I mentioned, from an open standards point of view, we want to make sure we are compatible with everything that's happening with the standards and the industry. So we are OpenXR compatible. We are bringing WebXR experiences onto the device. We can work with GLTF assets and then be able to use that as part of the solution. With that said, we've tried to simplify the path of developers to be able to get solutions and apps on the device. So there are two paths. So if you are trying to build a 2D application and you have existing content that you want to bring onto the platform, this is the sequence of steps. So you start with your existing apps that you might have built for phones or tablets. You add in the Voice UI capability that gives you voice control. You might have to do some UI customizations. This is required just because we are a binocular see-through AR device. And so mobile apps are not built. They're built for handheld devices, and they don't take into account that content is going to be right in front of the user's eye. So there might be some UI UX customizations required, and then you have your ported app. If it's a 3D application, you go through the same path. We are OpenXR compatible. That makes it even easier to be able to move these onto the device, and then you have your 3D applications on Argo. With that said, I want to say, come join us. I think this is a really exciting platform, and we are trying to enable as many developers as possible through this process, and then let's go solve a real problem in the enterprise space. Thank you.
We have time for one, maybe two questions if they're quick. Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
Right. Hello. Really great presentation. Just two quick questions. One, you didn't really talk about battery life. So how does that work? And well, not how does it work, but what is the battery life?
Sure.
As well as field of view in terms of like what is the capabilities of like where we can put things when they're navigating.
Yeah, absolutely. Great questions. And we're short on time. We'll be outside. We'll answer questions more. But battery life is 6 watt-hours integrated with the ability to add extra batteries. And we could show you how we do that. We even have the option for hot swappability with some of our customers' requests. Our field of view is 30 degrees diagonal, but with a massive eye box. So most people, when they wear it, they're like, is this 50 plus? Because part of the clipping that happens with smaller eye boxes gives you the sensation of a smaller field of view. And you could see that tomorrow in our booth if you want to see it. Another question? I have 10 seconds. So.
Oh, crap. I was going to ask if you could talk about Tactile and your partnership and doing low-code, no-code training with your platform.
Absolutely. So the Tactile team and us have done a press release. You'll hear a lot more of that partnership. And if you come by the booth, we'll love to answer that question. Thank you, everyone. See you tomorrow.
Great.
Bye.
Thanks so much.